Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Welcome
We're
back.
back to discuss tonight's Celtics versus Heat matchup. For this is Game 5, which the Celtics won 121-108. The series is now 3-2 in Miami's favor. Good win for the Celtics. Maybe notice in the first half because they played like absolute garbage again. I'm just saying, man. They second half they played like how the Celtics played, all season long. I mean, in the bubble and before the whole COVID thing. The last game they played flat. And they've had control. Was the first 3 games for the most part. The game 4 they just came out flat, but the first 3 games they just let the league go away. They were in control most of those games. It wasn't that they played like garbage until the middle of the third quarter into the fourth, and they would end up losing these 14-point leads, 17-point leads, whatever. This one, it took them a while to get going, and they finally decided to play, more of a team and got better defensively. Miami, they played well again in the first half, obviously. But then again, neither team really shot that well in the first half, but the Celtics just shot really, I think it was like 26 or 27% in the first half or something like that, too, which is really unusual considering the talent that's on the Celtics. They would just look rough, like they weren't on the same page. They didn't look like Miami. Looks like they were like they're like fluid, like they move quicker, and they always want on the move, and they're just taking quick shots. And Boston seems to not know who's going to take the shot. They constantly, I know, I like a lot of a decent amount of passes between the plays, but sometimes it's almost like they could take the shot, but they pass it back out or try to get it inside or whatever, and then it's one too many passes, I think, and they shoot it and they miss, or they turn the ball over. I know sometimes. Walkerway's a smaller guy. He tries to get inside and he gets, loses the ball. So we still, gets it away from him. This is just the zone defense, especially, just collapsing on him, and he's just not big enough to make a layup without it getting, knocked away. But tonight's Celtics, Tatum 31 points, Brown 28 points, so that's good. Walker 15, Marcus Smart at 12. What did Hayward have?
10.
Yeah, so he had 10 points. But again, having Hayward on the floor makes a difference, because you have to worry about him. He's still a scoring threat, even though he's still not quite back to where he was during the season since he came back from his injury and being out of the bubble, in the bubble, out of the bubble, in the bubble, whatever. I think he's slowly getting there. So, I don't know if they're going to make it past Game 6, or if they'll win Game 6. I don't know. So I think each game Hayward gets a little bit better, but just having him back, I think, definitely helps make a difference. Tice had 15 points tonight, and he did what do you have? He had 13 rebounds, and Tatum had 10 rebounds. So that was good. But I mean, Tice, I don't know how many fouls he ended up with, but in the first half or whatever, he was just being tight, getting in the way, the wrong position, getting fouled. At times he just can drive me crazy. Like I don't know. He just feels like he's in the wrong spot sometimes, and he gets these really stupid fouls. And
Well, I mean, there's not really much to say. I mean, they just have to learn how to not play so terrible. I mean, like before we started filming this, I said to him, I'm like, they got real lucky they won. Because, I mean, they just played terrible in the first half. I'm like, oh, here we go again. They'll probably be down by like 5 points at the end with like 3 seconds left. But they just miraculously came back, and they just played good. And that's how they should have been playing all along. But, like I said in Miami, I mean, I'm not a Miami fan, but I will give them credit. I mean, they did play like a good professional team, and despite some of the bad officiating and everything, they did another good job putting up a fight. So I mean, hopefully game 6 on Sunday, hopefully Celtics will play the same way as they did tonight. try not to.
As long as they play like the Celtics can play, like tonight's second half. That's how they usually play. Like the first half, they just look like they weren't on the same page.
And
Like I want to talk about the officiating. There's bad calls all around. But again, for and against both teams. The officiating was just, I know I think you each get one challenge each, but there's some things I know there was, Kemba Walker trying to do a flop at one point. It's like trying to get a foul. That drives me crazy more than people who flop.
Yeah.
I think Dragic might have done it once tonight. These guys are they're trying to get these fouls so bad that they just look silly.
Yeah.
I was going to say something about the fouls. Like sometimes I think, I know the Celtics. I don't know how the Heat do it. I mean, I know like Boston type they almost trying to draw a foul. They're thinking about getting fouled before they actually thinking about getting the shot. And a lot of times there'll be no foul call. They'll lose. They won't make the basket, and the other team will get the ball because they're so focused on trying to get fouls. Like they should worry about shooting first and making the points, and if they foul, so be it. That's what it looks like, anyways.
I mean, it's like while we were watching it, they made the bad call against Tice, in which what's the guy's name? Dragic, is that how you say his name?
Yeah, we were trying to go. We kept I don't know, Dragic.
Oh no, either way.
We kept messing
either
up.
way. So like Tice was standing, and he was like getting ready to take a shot, but he bumped it to Tyson, and the ref called it a defensive foul.
Yeah.
But it should have been the other way around, because if you watch the replay, Tice didn't move. He was just standing, and the guy ran into him, and that should have been an offensive foul, because that's a charge right there. And but I mean, it happens in every game. I mean, refs make terrible calls. I mean, I'm sure. Hopefully, it'll be better during Game 6.
Yeah, this wasn't just Miami getting a call on Boston. This went both ways. I don't know how much it really affected because it was several times over. For like I said, it for and against both teams. The foul against Dragic at the end of the game against Tice, was that really an offensive foul? I don't know. The commentator's comment said it was, and one guy said it wasn't. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But
It is.
you can only have so many challenges during a game. I get it where they don't want to stop the game for reviews, but the officiant's going to be better. There's just too many calls that they almost make something up, or they think they see something, nothing happens. I mean, like I said, that walkout thing. They even show the replay 3 different times, and he's like flops back like he hit his face, and there was no contact whatsoever. It was ridiculous. I can't stand stuff like that. Usually it's Marcus Smart, the king of flops, who does stupid. Well, that's what he is. He drives me crazy. Let me throw myself on the floor, or make it look like I got hit when nobody even touched me. And
That's fine.
with replay, you can clearly see these people don't get touched. So it's like and I don't know. I just don't like people who flop, which is why there's that rule in place. Which they don't always call, obviously. But I just don't like that. I don't like flopping, and I don't like officiating having any bearing on the outcome of a game. Did the officiating affect the outcome of this game? It's hard to say because it was so bad against both teams. Not bad, but where it went against both teams, it wasn't like they were just going for one team and not the other. They made bad calls on both sides. But Miami did put up a good fight. What did Butler have?
He had 7.
Yeah, there was somebody who said he's gonna hit 40. Sorry, buddy, he didn't hit 40. He played good. He got 17. He did play well. I think it was because he was kind of in foul trouble. That could be why, but he did play well tonight. I mean, the whole team played well. They seem to always play well. Harrell kind of didn't do as good as tonight. He kind of went back to how he usually does, 14 points. He usually averages like 13, I think.
Yeah.
12 or 13 points a game. But I don't think he played as much, did he? Played 20, well, he had 29 minutes. I mean, that's a decent amount.
Yeah.
It was good to see, what's his name, for the Celtics? Cantor.
He had a good night tonight.
Yeah, what did he have? He had
8 points tonight.
Yeah, but he was only in there for
10 minutes.
Yeah, but he, I think he needed to play more. Like the last one they had, he played. I think he needs to be used more. I know that Brad Stevens has a thing for Tice, but I think in certain situations like Cantor's more physical than Tice is, I think, and he's and Robert Williams is just not there yet. He's just doing experience. He's not going to be the same as these other guys. He has his moments, but I think Cantor's got the most experience in the playoffs, and he's more physical than the other guys. So I think they should have used him more, but it is what it is. I mean, Tice at 35 minutes. That's unbelievable for Tice, and he did it with 15 points. Yeah, 15 points, 13 rebounds, which is good. I just would like to see more of Cantor because he's very physical.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens in Game 6. Be good for us if the Celtics win. I don't know. It'd be, at this point, for a team to come back from 3 games to 1 is rarely happens. Even though it did happen earlier this. What was it down? The Nuggets versus
L.A.
The Clippers. So
And
it could happen. It depends if the Celtics come out and play like average or not. You don't. It seems you don't know what they're going to be like when they're playing in these playoffs. They talk, but when they come out and they fall flat and they don't play how they say they're going to play. They just they don't pass in the fluidly. They're not shooting fluidly. They're taking stupid shots, stupid fouls, missing shots. So we're going to see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a good game, a tight game, I'm sure. Again, because Miami's a good team. Obviously, they've really been playing the Celtics really well, which is why they're ahead 3 games to 2.
Yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up.
I think it's going to do it. Tune in Sunday, which I'm sure we'll do one for that game because that game's a little bit early, so it makes it easy with these games being a little bit early. The 8:30 is a little rough because it gets ends late. So we're looking forward to Sunday's game, see who wins that game.
Yeah.
It might be Miami, might be moving on and maybe knock Boston. I don't know. Maybe the Celtics can somehow tie this series back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and put your comments down below what you guys thought about this game tonight, whether you're a Miami fan, a Boston fan, whatever.
Until next time. Good. Time for bed. Good night, Mr. Father. I will see you in the moment.